more sync and trailers. This is an episode of Syncrets to Success, the podcast, which is currently living on YouTube, and eventually I'm gonna bring it over where you can listen to this, and you might be listening to this at some point in the future. That Jones Boy 88, thank you for tuning in. You might listen to this in the future on like Amazon or whatever podcast platforms exist by the time I drop this on the podcast platforms. But this is an episode of the podcast. Shout out to Sync Spotlight. We'll talk about Sync Spotlight in a little bit. Music Ronin. We'll talk about Music Ronin in a little bit too. Some incredible events coming up. Music Ronin Supers. Thank you for tuning in. Before I get into it, this episode is sponsored by ASTS. The great team over at ASTS provides music creators like me and you some great sounds that we can use in our music production. Shout out to ASTS. You can look in the description on the YouTube channel. You have to go to YouTube if you're watching on Instagram and look at the description. You can get a discount for some of the plugins and stuff that they offer for us music creators. I use a lot of their stuff in the trailer music, especially in the horror trailer. They actually have a plugin on the way. I can't talk about the plugin, but it's going to be dope. Plugin coming out hopefully in a few months. So yeah, that's going to be dope. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm going to talk about some events coming up. I got word from a fellow collaborator in the sync space. I'm actually working with her on some music. She works in the industry. She's out in Hollywood, and she was like, look, the Hollywood, the seasons are basically over for sync briefs. She's like, if you're getting briefs, they're probably not, for TV shows and stuff. The seasons are basically over. They're getting ready to go on spring break, summer break, take a break for a little while. I heard word from another person in Hollywood that he's worried about strikes, some other round of strikes coming from another side of the industry that could affect things. So we just got to keep doing what we can do. Of course, we have the threat of AI. We have all of these issues and problems in the music space, but keep making music. Do not lose hope. This week, actually today, like a couple hours ago, I didn't have time to make it because they were looking for something already made. I got a brief for a trailer. They wanted to have some, it was like Dr. Dre trailerized. So they wanted some like West Coast hip hop trailerized, which I'll probably do eventually. I don't have any in my catalog, so I would love to do that. I submitted earlier to a company I work with that needed some Spanish music. So I have a couple of those in my catalog. I need to get more of those in my catalog. So as I see briefs, I still see briefs coming in, mostly in the trailer space, mostly in the advertising space, not so much on the TV side. So keep that in mind. Now, let me talk about some conferences coming up. Shout out to Isaiah Jones. I know Isaiah will be in the building at Sync Spotlight. That will be on next Saturday, 1 week from this post of this video, March 29th, 2024. This will be the premier event for the Atlanta region, southern region of the United States. If you can make it out there, there are still tickets. If you are watching this on Instagram before that date, you can comment the word Sync Spotlight on another post, and I'll send you information on how you can get tickets for there for Sync Spotlight, which will be March 29th. 9 hours of content panels, back-to-back panels. You'll be meeting music supervisors, sync agents, sync libraries, collaborators, different attendees, singers, songwriters, rappers, incredible people. I will be in the building. The night before or the evening before, there will be a networking event where you can talk to some of these people. I'll see if I can get some friends out there. I got to send some emails this weekend. If I can get some friends down in Atlanta out in the building so you can network, you can politic, make some business moves. Just cut me in when you make those deals. So shout out to Sync Spotlight. And then next month, I'll be in the building with Music Ronin, JC, and Mr. Goldstein, it's Goldberg, out in New York for a songwriting camp. Someone just asked me today about the songwriting camp. You can look up Level Up Music Productions. There'll be a camp out there. I signed up to be one of the judges. I committed to that before finding out that it actually is the day of our daughter's prom. And I was like, you know what? I got to tell her I'm canceling it. And my wife and daughter, they're like, nah, you got to go do it. You got to go do it. And I'm like, life be lifing, man. But shout out to supportive family. Our daughter is a senior this year. I mentioned that in the past. So we're doing college trip scholarships. She has her senior portraits this weekend. So I'm actually missing another this weekend. Shout out to another panelist I had at NAMM. He's been 2 years back to back. He's been on an official The Fingaz NAMM panel. Shout out to my guy, Jared Alua, who's actually in town. I'm in the DC area. So I chopped it up with him a little bit yesterday. And he's here speaking at a conference this weekend. I can't make the conference because, family, got to be there for family. Our daughter, doing as much as I can, see a year. But Jared's in town speaking at the DC Music Summit this weekend. So shout out to Jared. Wish you luck as you hit those various stages, as he's spreading around, going around town, traveling like I'm doing. Like I said, Atlanta next weekend, Sync Spotlight, New York, next month, and then the month after that, I believe I'll be back in LA. So yeah, setting up the schedule. Shout out to my boy Isaiah Jones. I know he's making moves out there. Also, Truth Boy officially, thank you for tuning in. Comment the word Sync Spotlight for information about that. If you're interested about the songwriting camp in New York, someone asked me earlier, look up Level Up Music Productions. You can follow them here on Instagram. Also, Truth Boy officially, thank you for tuning in. If I didn't say that, that Jones Boy 88, of course, if you'll be there the day before, that networking event is going to be dope. So let's definitely chop it up. Grab a drink or something. What was the email address for Josh at Music Ronin? Colleen, if Music Ronin, oh, okay, Josh, you shared it here. I'm about to say, I don't know if I can share it because I know that was part of another, that was the Eric Campbell chat. Shout out to Eric Campbell also. Another, so I'm building up this catalog of this directory of panelists. Eric Campbell was a panelist at NAMM this year. Shout out to Eric Campbell, who was on an official the Fingaz panel. So far, I have about 30 people who has been on an official the Fingaz panel at NAMM, between NAMM last year, this year, AES, and not South by Southwest yet, but Music Ronin, josh.christie at musicronin.io. So I just put that out there. If you're watching on YouTube, josh.christie, DOB says, stay up. What's up? Thank you for tuning in, DOB. Josh.christie at musicronin.io. And from, if you missed that chat, if you're on Instagram, you want to go back and look at Eric Campbell. I don't know if it was on his page or the Control Camp page, but you want to rewatch that live with Josh. That was incredible. So many gems dropped. That Jones boy says NAMM was fired. NAMM was incredible. I got the stats memorized. I had 3 panels, 3 hours, 15 panelists, over 2,000 people registered. NAMM was, and I just saw the post that NAMM, they were getting ready for next year. And South by Southwest, I know some people that went there this year. I don't think there was a huge sync presence, but I do have some things hopefully in the works with them. We'll see if we can make it happen next year. That Jones Boy 88, definitely. I have so many ideas for all these conferences. AES, I think, will be, Sync Spotlight, obviously. I am the event manager for Sync Spotlight. I didn't put it together, but I was brought on to be the manager and help do some arrangement with some of the panels and things. I believe I might be moderating one of the panels there also. Forever J Ross, thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, if you're on YouTube or Instagram, if you have any questions about Sync, drop them in the comments. So I got some briefs today, as I was mentioning. On one brief was they wanted Spanish hip hop, so I'm building that catalog. I sent in some ideas, fingers crossed. That was for a trailer. Then I got another brief that I didn't have anything in my catalog. They just needed something. They didn't have time for a custom, or I would have spent time for the custom. They wanted some like West Coast hip hop for a trailer. But I did post today because I have an opportunity to speak with one of my favorite producers. Shout out to Danger Hands. And I'll leave it at that. But I did post a trailerization of Justin Timberlake's Sexy Back. I was watching his Tiny Desk yesterday, and there's a Justin Timberlake song that I want to trailerize, and I always, every year I say I want to trailerize it before Valentine's Day so I can post it on Valentine's Day. And it's, of course, it's My Love. I want to trailerize that. I haven't done it yet, but I was listening to the Tiny Desk yesterday, and I was like, yo, Sexy Back, that could be a dope trailerized version for like a summertime, like, somebody's going to the beach, they're trying to bring Sexy Back. So I decided to trailerize that, and I knew I was gonna have that meeting coming up with Danger Hands, so fingers crossed. But I posted that today. You can check the snippet of that. And I have some other trailerizations. That's not the one I wanted to do this week. The one I wanted to do this week is I think it's still the number one song, at least on urban radio, maybe on radio. Let's see if I can knock that out this weekend. Then I have another song I want to trailerize. So I just got a bunch of trailerization stuff I want to do. On top of, I gotta finish up a sample pack for a library or for a project. And yeah, always doing sync. Let's shout out to Sam Champagne from the Mixing Night Audio crew. Shout out to Ken Lewis and the Mixing Night Audio fam. Actually, there's a contest that's happening right there. I got to get that beat in there for that contest. Sam says, hope you're doing well. Have anything on the Batman movie coming out for who might be doing the music for that one? I don't know. When you say music, if you mean trailer, the thing about these properties that have so many different versions is you never know what they're looking for the trailer. So I could assume that the Batman trailer, they would want something that maybe incorporates Batman's theme song, or Batman, you have like the dark horns and things like that. Or are they going to go like comedy, which Batman isn't really like a comedy route, not like some Marvel stuff. But they might try to bring Batman in another direction. Actually, I don't have any insight on the music for that or the trailer. So I'm usually just pitching to when I get requests come in, and if I see the same request, like I said today, I got requests for West Coast hip hop trailerized. They wanted two specific songs, Dr. Dre songs. I think um, one might have been the next episode. I forgot what the other one was. I didn't have that in my catalog, but if I see that from another library, like in a couple of weeks, then it's like, okay, maybe I should do my version of this. And that's a great way. Or I've been seeing a lot of Afrobeat and Spanish requests. Like I said, I got Spanish requests today. Sent that in, and fingers crossed. Shout out to Blue Buddha Entertainment. Shout out to Charles and Blue Buddha for. I actually finally got to meet Charles at NAMM this year also. So the great thing about being in these different spaces is that you start seeing people online. There's different communities that do virtual meetups, webinars, Zoom meetings, things like that. And then you start going out to events like NAMM, like South by Southwest, like AES, like Sync Spotlight in Atlanta next weekend, where you want to be there in the building. And you start putting a face to the name. A lot of these people, because of the pandemic, I've been seeing their work. I've been seeing them in different Zoom meetings, virtually online, or even just virtual meetings with them one-on-one over the last 2 years. And then we finally, we back outside over the last couple of years. And it's like, okay, now we can go meet, we can shake hands, we can go grab a drink, we could talk about some projects that's, in the works, under the table, things like that. So last year, I actually met a library that I've been working with at that time, I was working with them for about 6 months. And when I went out to eat with them, they were like, hey, we're working on this project. We're not opening up to our roster, but if you want in on it, let us know. And I got in on it, and I got the place. They told me I got placed on like basically a whole season of a show back in December. The current season is still going, so I probably won't see it on my PRO until like September. Such is life. Baby Got Beats, thank you for tuning in. Jay Will, thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. If you're on YouTube, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Colleen says, what does trailerize mean specifically? So if you watch a movie trailer, some trailers have a commercial song like a Beyonce song or a Taylor Swift song or Kendrick Lamar song. A lot of trailers use hip hop, and they have what's called a trailerized version, which is like an epic cinematic version of this song. So the way I do it is I take the vocals from the original song, and then I create my trailerized version around the vocals from the original song. And if you look at the top 3 pin posts here on Instagram, Colleen, you will see a trailerized version that I did of Standing Next to You, which is Jungkook and Usher. I also have Usher's Yeah and Usher's Confessions. I was doing a bunch of Usher trailerizations because of the Super Bowl and all the Vegas stuff. The one I just posted today is a trailerization of Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake. So if you go look for the original song, listen to the original song, and then come to my page and look at those 4 posts, and you can see what a trailerization of that is. I'm trying to think of an actual movie trailer. The Sonic, this was genius. I love when people do this. There's a new Sonic TV show or movie coming out, and the trailer for it, because Sonic, it's going to be Sonic and Knuckles. And if you're familiar with the Sega video game Sonic, I loved playing Sonic when I was younger, and I love the movie. So 2 movies out. Like the TV show, shout out to was it Jaleel White, who was the voice of Sonic in the TV show. They didn't bring him in for the movie, but oh well. Shout out to Jim Carrey, Robotnik in the film. Anyway, in this new trailer for the new Sonic, whatever it is, TV show or movie, featuring Sonic and Knuckles, I believe Idris Elba is the voice of Knuckles. And the song that they trailerized was Knuck If You Buck. Now, Colleen, you might not know what Knuck If You Buck is, and if you do listen to it, just parental advisory notice. But Knuck If You Buck is, I was just like, this is, for me, that was like, some music supervisors don't like when you're really on the nose with the trailerization, but it's like Knuckles and Knuck If You Buck. To me, it just made sense. I was like, man, people asked me, did I do it? I was like, no, I wish I did, because that was genius. It's Jalissa. Thank you for tuning in. I have gotten close to another trailer. I can't talk about it. I got close, but it didn't land it. But luckily, there was a kill fee. If you don't know what a kill fee is, that means if you work on music for a trailer and they don't accept it, then they will pay you because they didn't use it. Sometimes there's also a demo fee where they'll pay you to make it. And yeah, so they didn't pay me to make it, but I knew from the library they reached out. I already made the track. There's a trailerization of a song, and it's in their catalog. They signed it, and they're like, "Hey, we're pitching it to this trailer. If they don't take it, there's a kill fee." And I was like, "Great, I'll take it." So I had to do a couple edits, but it didn't land, unfortunately. But such is life. Such is the life of sync and trailers. Again, if you are in Atlanta, you want to be at Sync Spotlight next weekend. If you're in New York, you want to check out, or if you can be in Atlanta next weekend, go to Sync Spotlight. The networking event alone is worth the price of admission. If you are in New York, you want to be at the Level Up Songwriting Camp next week or next month. That is April 13th, I think. My date might be wrong, but yeah, some stuff coming up. I'm actually going to do I'm going to do a free sync chat on the 27th, which is Wednesday, next Wednesday, for Sync Music Success, which is another conference that I was part of in January. Actually, if you're on Instagram, you can comment the words or the letters SMS, I believe, and I'll send you information for Sync Music Success. It was a conference that we held back in January, and you can access the replay for that. So many gems dropped there. So many music supervisors, sync agents. There was Brent Daniels, who was like killing it in the trailer space. There was Eric Campbell, who I mentioned earlier. There was Tamara Bubble. There was so many. I think there were 2 days back to back of panels. It was 5 or 6 hours each day. So yeah, there was a lot of content there. So yeah, so I love going to these events. I love putting on or assisting if I can to put on these events. And building up that personal brand of sort of event organizing, hosting, public speaking, and things like that in this trailer sync composing space. Let me see. Let me go through the comments. So, Colleen, did that explain what trailerization? Did that help make sense? But yeah, make it super dramatic with drops and strings, and there's actually libraries, plugin developers who make sounds specifically for movie trailers, and those sounds typically are not cheap. Those libraries are not cheap, typically. So that is trailerization. You are welcome. So yeah, definitely check out. So what I do occasionally, I say once a week, I go to YouTube. I still work full time, so my commute to work is insane. It's like hour and a half. So at least one commute into work or home from work, at least one day a week, I spend listening to the latest trailers that week, and that's how I sort of keep my ear out for what the current trends in the trailer space are, trailer music and things like that. And just there's YouTube channels where you can just watch trailers. They organize all the trailers for the week. It's like, hey, here's the trailers that were released this week. There's actually a couple channels that do that, and I usually just go to YouTube and search trailers this week, and then just fall down the rabbit hole. So that is that. Shout out to everyone who has been checking out the trailerization that I did of the Justin Timberlake "Sexy Back" song. That was I started that yesterday, and I was like, I knew I wanted to finish it because I got this meeting coming up with the producer, Danger. Shout out to Danger. Shout out to DMB producers. And I was like, man, I got to finish this. And so I was gonna try to finish it today. I didn't plan on finishing it last night, but I was getting like closer and closer, and I was like, man, if I just do a little bit more, got it to a place that, in my mind, is at least finished. So that is that, and that is out. Again, this will not live on Instagram, so I'm going to post this on YouTube. So you want to definitely check out this on YouTube, along with some of the other episodes. I have a podcast on YouTube that's called Syncrets To Success. I also have a Facebook group called Syncrets To Success. You definitely want to be in that group. We're getting close to 2,000 members. Once we hit 2,000, we're going to go live in the group and I'll see if I can get some plugins and do some giveaways. We'll just have a great time with that once we hit that 2,000 mark, which is going to be incredible. Syncrets To Success is the name of the Facebook group on Facebook. So definitely tap in there. I started posting briefs in the group also. If I get briefs and I have some time where some people in the group can jump on it, pause to collaborate. So I found a couple people who actually got in on a lo-fi brief, which I rarely get, but there was a library I work with. I was looking for lo-fi music last week. So I posted that in the Facebook group and found like 2 or 3 collaborators who were able to jump on that. And I submitted all the stuff that we came up with. MDJ Muso, thank you for tuning in. So that Facebook group. Let's see. Theo says, you can listen to my song and tell me if it's sync ready. Theo, that's a great question. If you go to my website, thefingaz.com, and go to services, I would say just go book a like 30-minute consult, or you can do a 1-hour consult, and you can play any music you want me to listen to, or if you want to have a chat about where you might want to play some of your music. For sync, the first thing before you even do any of that is you have to make sure you have your PRO set up. BMI, ASCAP, CSAC. If you're in the US, Theo, I don't know where you are located, but you want to make sure you have your PRO set up for that, so that you can get into sync. And then a lot of times it's just go to a library. there's music that I've made that I've like, there's no way this is going to get placed or signed to a library. And the next thing I know, the library is like, yeah, this is great. We'll take it. So everything that I'm making right now is either for sync or for trailers. So thank you, Theo, but definitely go to defingers.com. You can check out, services at the top. Also, if you're looking for sample packs, you can go to defingers.com, click sample packs. Some of them are royalty free, so you can use them as long as you flip them enough. But I don't have any registered copyright on them. Some of those samples are royalty free, and you can use them in sync. Just make sure you flip them enough, because just like with Splice or Arcade or any of those other sample companies, if you just use it as is and just throw some drums on it or something, it can probably get flagged and taken down. So yeah, and most libraries actually don't like those sample loops and sample packs. If you have any questions, hold on, I gotta see what the missus is talking about. She just texted me. If you have any questions, oh, that's right, I gotta go check out. Okay, I gotta go off because I gotta check out one of our friends is actually on a radio show tonight, and we gotta vote for him. So I gotta go check him out. And send in my vote, support friends in the music space. I think he's doing like a beat challenge or a rapper battle or something. So I'm going to check that out. Stay tuned for more. Again, this video will live. I'll leave it on Instagram for a couple of days, but it'll live up on YouTube. You want to go to youtube.com/defingers or defingers1. Yeah, I think it's just defingers. Just look up Syncrets To Success on YouTube. Join Syncrets To Success Facebook group. Stay tuned for some more music. Stay tuned for some more lives, and I will see you in the next live. All right, be safe and be well, everyone. Peace. Let me just figure out how to end the stream.